The following is a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.
Good evening and welcome to 3KG, the Kage weekly show, the Coach's Cage show, here live from Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer. We're with you a little bit early tonight. We've got a good slate of coaches here already and got some things going on this evening, so we thought we'd jump the gun just a little bit and a lot of games to talk about. It's been busy in both boys and girls basketball. Girls b-ball wrapped up regular season here just this past weekend, and sectionals action started off last night, and right into it keeps going tonight and beyond. So we've got some girls coaches, mostly boys coaches here tonight, and start off with Ricky Montmeyer, the South Newton Rebels coach. You had 20-game vacation. 20-day vacation, if you would, and then all of a sudden, forget about that because you boom, 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 three back-to-back.
Yep. So
we saw you on last Friday when you entertained Tri-County. We probably picked the wrong game of the weekend because you came back and nicely, and then had a game again yesterday, right, or Tuesday?
Monday night.
Monday night, okay.
Yeah,
So
kind of bad scheduling, but it was one of the only days that really worked for us, and it's conference games, so we had to make it up. But preferably, we would not like to play on Mondays. But
let's take us through those games a little bit, one by one, if you would.
Yeah.
That Tri-County game was pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I mean, the one thing you didn't do was shoot the ball well. If that would have been added to the equation, that would have been the game down the wire.
yeah, we were nervous, not nervous, I guess, but one of those just kind of like in the back of our head, like, man, we haven't played in 20 days. Not sure what we're going to get out of our kids going out there. Effort was definitely there, I thought, for the most part. Like, we battled. We forced a lot of turnovers against them. We were doing some nice things offensively, just couldn't score. I mean, that was just all it was.
Getting good shots, too.
We were getting good shots. Just never catch a groove, I feel like. We were getting kind of some of the looks we wanted to. We were hoping some other kids would, take a little bit more, be more aggressive to try to score. But overall, it was one of those games that you can tell that they've played for the past couple of weeks, and you can tell that we have not. We kind of just dug our own hole with that. But you look at the quarter by quarter, outscored us every quarter, but we turned the ball out. We didn't convert a lot of those. I don't know if you guys have the stats in front of you, but I thought we talked to you guys last that they just turned the ball over more than we did, which I was surprised after getting here. But no, we battled. We played hard. It was just one of those nice good scores. So we ended up losing 55-30 in that game. We were good at some scoring. It was Colton Marks with 9 and Matthew Armstrong with 6. So kind of just told the guys, forget about it. On to the next one. That sucks losing Tri-County, and we're going to go out there and kind of lay an egg with the way we played score-wise, but nothing we can do. Move on to the next one.
I thought Holt came on with you. The game still maybe a little bit of doubt. Even he showed some, he kind of sparked you to get you at least something going there. I know, I think it wasn't your first and fourth quarter down, and then your middle quarters you were scored a lot more.
Pretty even actually across a bunch of it. Colton laid on the stretch there in the second quarter and end of the third of scoring, and so he scored all his points. But he kind of does that. He gets it in bunches, it feels like. He doesn't score for maybe a quarter, and then all of a sudden he's like, hey, stretch. Like, he can do that pretty often. I'd like to see him be more aggressive and shoot the ball more. But again, he's been out of basketball for 2 years. He's still trying to find the flow of the game and the flow of his offensive stuff. When he's shooting, he should not shoot. Very efficient scorer. He gets stats as far as his makes and tests. He'd like to see him shoot more of those. Tell him, like, you are scoring well, just shoot the ball more. And he's not a selfish kid, so he's one of those. He likes to move the ball around, but he'll get his when he can get it. But he's not going to be one to just jack shots up all night. It's just not the type of kid that he is. And then the next night, you guys missed that one, but it was a great game for us. We played Pioneer. Have not played them. I think it's been 3 or so years ago. We played them in sectional. It might have been one of my Salmons last year. Maybe not just last year, but second to last year. So it's been a while since we've seen them. They had a couple of the same kids from before. Coach's boy was still on the team. I think we saw him when he was a sophomore, so it's been 2 years ago. So he is now a senior. The night before, he had his 1,000-point, and we knew he was going to be kind of a problem for us matchup-wise, just because he's a kid that just scores. I mean, that's kind of all he does, and you can tell he's a gym rat. He's in the gym all the time. And
is he a big guy or a guard?
He's a bigger guard, I guess. He's
okay.
probably like 6'1", 6'2". Not very, physically strong, but very good with the ball in his hands. He can create his own shot, and they run the offense through him. They're looking for him wherever they are on whatever offense they're running. So we knew that going in. Looking at film, a couple films we watched, we're like, okay, we got to find 10. That's pretty obvious. And then we circled a couple other shooters on their team too that were like, these guys can really shoot the ball. So guys knew that going in. We were amped up, ready to go, and we couldn't score the night before. Let me look just back real quick. We scored 30, the night before, and by halftime we had 29 against Pioneer.
Different game.
20 in the first quarter.
Wow.
So we really got off to a hot start. Chase Stillbauer had 11 in the first quarter, and then you had Matthew Armstrong with 7 in the first quarter. So those two really sparked us. Matthew Armstrong got a couple quick fast break layups out of the zone that we were in, and then Chase was just on fire from three. Pioneer sits in a 2-3 zone for the most part during games, and we were just finding them open on the perimeter. They weren't closing out fast enough, and Chase was just knocking shots down. And very proud of him because that was finally one of those big breakout games for him. You see it in practice all the time. We just haven't got him in the flow of, hey, you can score whenever you want kind of thing. Sometimes his size, being a little smaller as a guard, hurts that. But very proud of him Saturday for just his ability to score and keep our offense flowing. And
you guys must have been really waiting on that type of a performance by him.
Yeah, because
how many games did he miss at the start of the season?
He missed a 4-game stretch there, so I think he played in the first game, and then he missed the next 4. So
that's enough to really screw everything up.
Well, and he didn't play last year really because he tore his ACL.
That's right.
January 2nd of last year. So it's been a long time since he's been in the basketball groove. So I think just now we're starting to see what Chase can do on the floor as a scorer for us, and he's very good with the ball in his hands. He can create his own shot. He
is a kid that's got a scorer's mentality.
He is, yeah. For us, he has to be. So it was great to see him score the way he did. He ended up having 23 for us. He led our team in scoring. And then Matthew Armstrong had 16, and then it was a bunch of 5, 6, 3 across the board after that. But now between those two, they really led the way, and if Armstrong makes his free throws, he probably has over 20 as well. We ended up holding the McCaig kid to 18, and a lot of those were on out-of-bounds plays. We talked to our kids about that after the game. They pretty much ran the same action against us over and over, and it was just a lob to this kid, and he'd go up, grab it, and put it in the hole. So, it was one of those tough matchups because he was athletic enough to jump over us, but I thought we could have defended that a little better. It's adjustments we can make down the stretch. We don't see a lot of teams that just consistently throw that lob pass to guys, so it's one of those things that we were not used to as far as seeing other teams play. So, but no, overall, very happy. Like I said, complete 180 from the night before. We had a season high in points as a team, 56.
Yeah. You can live with that, couldn't you?
Right, and held them to 48. So, overall, great night for us. We were above our average in scoring, and we held them below our defensive average for the season so far. So, overly happy with the way we played on Saturday night. And then Monday was a remake. We went to DeMont. We felt pretty good going into it. Last Tuesday, Pioneer beat DeMont Christian. So they played, Pioneer played DeMont, and then they played Caston the night before us, and then we played Pioneer. So we were the third game of their week, and we beat Pioneer. So we were thinking it should be pretty comparable going in. And you could just tell that playing 3 games in 4 days after having that long spell off really hurt with our legs and ability to score and do some certain things. So we just came out tired, kind of lethargic, and DeMont came out on fire and feel like they couldn't miss the first half. nothing but net on all their shots. It was one of those nights where it's like you see it go up, you're looking to rebound, and it's just nothing but net every time. So props to them for coming out and really taking it to us that first half. I think if it was if it was played 2 weeks ago when we were supposed to play, probably a more competitive game. But one of those again, you just gotta put your hands up, move on to the next one, and that's an upcoming weekend. We play Saturday at Tri-Township. So
That DeMont game, that was on the road there. Does that kind of a unique gym? Does that take a little bit of time for your shooters to get acclimated to? And
a little bit. It's a smaller gym than what we're used to. They don't have a lot of bleachers there. They've redone the place. The gym's the floor is pretty relatively new. They've got seating now on the sidelines. It used to just be on the bleachers you would sit. So they've updated quite a bit, and it's pretty nice. But yeah, I just feel teams always shoot better at home for the most part. Like you're used to your home gym, so when you have to go to a different gym and shoot, sometimes it's a little harder, and especially in a gym that's smaller. Kids aren't used to playing in a smaller gym, but we can't use that as really an excuse either. I think just a lot of it was 3 games in 4 days was a lot after not playing for 3 weeks, so we don't have that very often. We're not going to have a 3-week stretch during the regular season where we're off. So a lot of it's just we got to get our legs back underneath us and get really rolling again, because we had a good stretch going before we had that 3-week layoff where we were playing some good basketball. I think we're finally getting back to that. I think just once our legs underneath us, we'll be in pretty good shape.
did you have anybody score well or kind of stand out in any other facets of the game?
DeMont game, Colton Marks had 10, his typical 10. And then outside of that, no, not really. Miguel Mijas had 6. And then after that, it was just a bunch of 2s and 3s. But yeah, for the most part, like I said, I don't think it would have mattered what defense we were in that night or offense. They were just they had their way with us. So, yeah.
So you got Tri-Township coming up.
Yes.
That is on February
Saturday.
3rd. Okay, Saturday afternoon. And then the next game is at Donovan.
It's next Wednesday, actually, so I won't be here next Wednesday. But,
okay. All right.
So, yeah, we've got Tri-Township this week. We haven't seen them, and we used to scrimmage them, actually, before we went to the conference scrimmages. But the last meeting I looked up was between us in, 2014. So it's been a while since we've seen each other in a regular season game. And historically, we've only played each other, twice in the past 35 years, based off John Harrell's website. But it's one of those games we're not too familiar with them, but it's a comparable game as far as they're a smaller school. Their record is pretty similar to ours. They play some of the same teams that we do, and they've had similar scores to what the same teams we played. So for me, going in, should be pretty confident. It's at their place. I know they have a pretty unique gym as well. It's historical. It's smaller. I know they were, a couple of years ago, I thought they were talking about shutting the school down. So it's one of those that kind of glad that they stayed open just for these kids and whatnot. But everything I've heard about the gym, it's unique. It's small. It gets pretty loud when the teams are good. So we're excited to see that environment Saturday, and hopefully it's a good environment when we go up there.
How about, I want to ask you, on this Illinois swing, do the Illinois teams generally play on Wednesday as compared to usually it's always a dark night here?
Sometimes they have 4-game weeks. If they're in one of those holiday tournaments, they'll play 4 or 5 in a week. Illinois can play more games than we can. I don't know how many is their max, but they get in 30 plus games per year.
Oh wow!
We're at 22 for the season. So
NBA.
Yeah, I think looking at last time I looked, I think Donovan right now is 8-13. So they've already had over 20 games played. Milford's kind of the same way. Iroquois West is kind of the same way, but Milford's a makeup. So originally it was just supposed to be a 2-game week. Now it turns into a 3-game week, which is okay because if you look at the format, we play Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. It's pretty similar to what a sectional week would look like. So we're probably going to push that this next week after the Tri-Township week. Hey, this is good prep for sectional. You guys are going to have to play 3 games in a row and during the week to win a sectional. So for me, it's good practice. I like the 3-game weeks occasionally, not all the time, but if you can fit in 1 or 2 there during the season, it's good practice.
Was the 3-game the way it was all clumped this past weekend? Was that what kind of extra challenges with that for you guys as a coaching staff? I know you said the kids got worn down by your Monday game.
It provided quite a bit, just because
you can't scout, right? Or
you can, like, we had film uploaded and whatnot, but you can only do so much within like a 24-hour period. We played Trey County Friday night, turned around. We brought them in Saturday morning for like a walkthrough, kind of go over what Pioneer does, what could be open that night, all that good stuff. But you don't have much time to really coach and correct things from the night to night basis. You just kind of depend on the players to adjust and on the fly for the most part. I mean, Sunday we can't really have any contact with the guys, so it's not like we could host a walkthrough with them. So that day was just for recovery, and then you turn around Monday and you see them at school, but then you wait until the end of the day, you hop on a bus and you leave to go to Demont, and you don't have a lot of time to go through stuff. So that does provide a challenge. You wish there was a day between, like if we played on a Tuesday instead of a Monday, you have a day to at least prepare and kind of recover from the weekend. But yeah, it was a challenge, but you don't see that very often. We don't play like a 3-game stretch like that in 4 days very often. So it's not something we have to really get used to, but because of the cancellations and the openings in our schedule, that's all we had available to play. So.
Well, Ricky, appreciate you coming by here tonight. Good luck. Go get them starting out Saturday, and guess we'll have a week off from us anyways.
I'll be back in a couple weeks. So
come back with a couple more wins for the Rebs.
I'm hoping so.
All right. Thanks, Coach Ricky Monemeyer of the South Newton Rebels. We'll be back with more here at Arnie's Pizzeria. Come join us live as we get area coaches talking about last week's contests and looking ahead a little bit to games coming up. We'll take a time out, come back for more on 3kgthecage.com.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
At Applegate Seed House, we specialize in any and all small seed project needs. This includes government programs, CRP, pollinators and waterways, pasture mixes, and new lawn seed. Applegate Seed House is located 2 miles north of Brook, Indiana, and 2.5 miles east of Highway 41. Call Sam at 765-363-3113. That's Sam at Applegate Seed House, 765-363-3113.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Welcome back to 3KG, thekage.com coaches show, The Kage Show, here every Wednesday night, live from Arnie's Pizzeria. I want to thank Beth and all the great folks here at Arnie's for taking care of us. They do so well. Everybody loves Arnie's Pizza, and they feed our coaches and us, and just they have great hosts here every Wednesday evening. I'm Bill Kage, joined by Bob Kurtz. We're a little bit short-handed crew tonight, so Bob is here. We're going to get him to chirp in there every once in a while, maybe. He says no, he doesn't have a microphone. That's never stopped him before, but joining us now, anyways, is Bryce Cook, assistant coach at Tri-County Cavaliers boys team, stepping in, pinch hitting for Ryan Harrington, who's down at Purdue to see the big one. Revenge night there as they're taking on Northwestern. That'd be nice to see the Boilermakers kind of get one back. And
absolutely.
I forgot that they hadn't played Northwestern twice last year. They only played them once.
Yeah.
So they've come in with a two-game losing streak,
yeah.
which that doesn't happen very much for Purdue basketball against anybody these days. And
yeah, no.
So they really owe them, don't they?
Oh, I'm sure they're fired up and ready to go.
Hey, Bryce, speaking of fired up and ready to go, you're representing one of the hottest teams we've got in our coverage area, coming in 5 wins in a row now for the Cavaliers. What has helped turn it around and got you guys on this good hot streak?
Yeah, I think we've been preaching defense all year, and the guys have really bought in and gelled on that end. From the start of the year to now, defensively we've come a really long way. But I think also the leadership that we're seeing from Kobe Baylor and from Eric Zarcy especially in the last game, Zarcy really came on for us, and that's what you want to see. He's probably one of the hardest working kids on the team, and so to see him come in and against Caston, he had 24 points. It's easy to be happy for him.
That's outstanding. He didn't know we had you the game before that night over at South Newton, and he did not score that much.
No, he didn't.
He seemed like he was more, intent on just passing the ball off and moving it around.
Well, and what's nice about him is he's skilled enough and unselfish enough that even when he's not scoring, he impacts the game in so many different ways. I mean, he rebounds well for a guard. He's a great defender, and he shares the ball well. So he's a fun player to watch for sure, and a fun player to have on our team.
Bryce, I kind of jumped into the Cavaliers here a little quick because I was so excited about this 5-game win streak. But tell us a little bit. You're a familiar name to Tri-County. You spent your time there matriculating there and played a little basketball yourself. Tell us, your years at Tri-County and then what you've been doing in between since coming back.
Yeah, so I graduated in 2018. Played all 4 years of basketball there. Was very fortunate to play with some really skilled players on some really good teams, and so had a lot of fun there.
Who were your coaches?
So the first 3 years, freshman, sophomore, junior, Tyler Shear was the head coach. Mark Grettencord was JV, and then my senior year was when Mark Grettencord moved up
over. Okay.
and Ryan took over JV.
Ryan
Harrington took over JV. So.
You worked with good young coaches, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. And just as I was blessed with a lot of really good players, I was blessed with some good coaches too. After I graduated, I went over to a little NAIA college in Illinois called Lincoln Christian, and played basketball there. Got a degree there. I'm actually the pastor of a church in Wolcott now.
Oh wow!
And then when I moved back to the area, Ryan asked if I would join the coaching staff last year. And this year he asked if I would take over JV. So
outstanding.
I really feel fortunate to be along for the ride. Really.
It seems like it's a good year because you had a bad start. The Cavs 0-5 to get out of the gates, but to battle all the way back from 0-5, it really says a lot about you guys. 8-7 now.
Yeah, it says a lot about the guys that we have, that they dug in and they've bought into everything that we're about as far as defense and grit and toughness and all that, and it's starting to pay off. So hopefully it can continue to pay off through the end of the year.
I know part of that 0-5 was that you didn't have Zarcy at the start of the season. He was still trying to get back from an injury.
Yeah.
So you think is he 100% now, or is he still, getting in, blending in with the team? And
if he's not 100%, he's pretty close. It's one of those things where it was tough to see him go down to start the year, but I think for everyone around him, even the tough start 0-5 made us better. It gave us some adversity that we just had to fight through and work through, and guys improved because of it, and now we're better for it here at the end of the year, toward the end of the year, with him already back in the lineup and doing the things he's doing. So
I can't imagine. I mean, if he could add that anywhere near that production that he provided for you guys on against Caston, was it?
Yeah, last game. Yeah,
you're gonna be a tough out.
Yeah,
for anybody.
And he's, like I said, he's one of the hardest workers in the gym. So you never know when that hard work is going to show.
Let's talk about the games last week, individually wise. Take us through, if you would, the South Newton game from Friday night. That was a nice win for you guys.
Yeah, so similar to what I already said, we try to preach defense, try to preach toughness, grit. Anytime we can hold the team to 30 points in a game, we as coaches are going to be really, really happy with that. I thought that game overall was great on the defensive end. We got a little bit sloppy at times offensively, but we still shot pretty well from the floor. Kobe Baylor led us, as he does quite often, on the scoring side of things. But Riley Hughes also scored double figures that game, and it's always nice when we can get him going and he can give us an extra lift as well on the offensive end of the floor.
Bob has always said he's always calling for Kobe Baylor to have that breakout 25-point outing when we're doing one of your games. I always think he's not selfish enough. I mean, that's not a trait that you want definitely through all your team, but he's one guy that could be a little bit more selfish and look to get some points, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where as a coach, you don't really want to tell a guy to be selfish, but when you're as skilled as Kobe Baylor is, it's easy to want him to shoot even more than he does. But he does a nice job of sort of pacing us on the offensive end of the floor. It seems like all season long, it seemed like when we've needed a bucket, he's the guy to go to, and quite often he delivers. So
is he 100%? I know we saw him earlier, maybe last month, late December or whatever. Seemed like he was nursing some injuries and still playing, but not. You could tell he wasn't 100%.
Yeah, I would say he's similar to Eric. If he's not 100%, he's pretty
right
close there. Yeah.
Okay.
So
who else played well on Friday night at South Newton?
Really, I mean, Kobe and Riley sort of paced us. Eric didn't score as much. Tyler Burns didn't score too much. I thought Grayson Schneider gave us some good minutes coming in. He's one of those guys who, when he's hot, it looks great. He can struggle at times, but he can always impact the game with his rebounding, with his physicality, stuff like that. And so he's just a great asset to us, especially physically. He's physically pretty gifted.
He can get up and down the court, can't he?
Yeah.
Boy, he impresses me with his speed.
Yeah.
If he gets out on a break, there's not many guys that are going to catch him.
Oh, yeah, and especially his size. I mean, that's an asset of his for sure.
Okay, let's talk about the Caston game a little bit. That was coming back, a tough team.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys could have tendency to rest on your laurels a little bit, but I guess you didn't with a big 7-point victory.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those teams we knew they were going to be good. They've got players who can knock down shots. They've got guys who can take it to the rim. I mean, they got guys who can punish you in the post. They've sort of got just about anything you want as far as being able to punish you offensively. And they showed that at times. There were stretches there where they made runs, but credit to our guys. Every time they made a run, we responded and dug in, got stops when we needed them, and like I said, Kobe and Eric kind of put us on their shoulders and carried us through to the end. So they did what you want seniors to do in a game like that.
How was the other aspects of the game, rebounding, defense, everything like that? How'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, defense, it was it was kind of frustrating because I thought our defense did pretty well, and we forced a lot of contested shots. They just stepped up and made them. I mean, at that point, you just got to tip your hat to them and say, you know, we got a hand in a guy's face. We forced him into a tough pull-up with a hand in his face, and he just knocked it down. And it's tough as a coach sometimes trying to get guys to understand that, you know, sometimes defensively you can do everything we ask you to do. You can stay in front of a man, you can get a hand in his face, you can contest a shot, and the shots go in. I mean, that's just the game of basketball. So I thought we did a nice job sort of weathering the storm when they made runs and closing things out at the end.
All right, well, let's look forward. We are looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah.
As you're hosting North Newton. That's really going to be an important game in the conference right now. You stand at 4-1, tied for second place, trailing only North Newton, who's 2-0 without a defeat in the conference. If you guys can win that tomorrow, that could really boost you, and that race can go down to the wire.
Yeah, that would be a big one. We know we've got our work cut out for us, especially stopping Gagnon. He's a handful. Physically, he's very talented, but he's also got the ability to stretch the floor, to attack the rim. I mean, it's got to be an all hands on deck team mentality as far as defense goes tomorrow.
And then after that, you don't play again till the 9th, so we'll come back and talk about that one next week. But in the meantime, you are in charge of the junior varsity there. You're the JV coach. Tell us a little bit about TC's JV this year.
Yeah, so we've got a really strong sophomore class. Tyler Burns is on varsity. He's a sophomore as well, but apart from him, we've got 3 triplets.
And we're real familiar with one, because when we get there, like at no later than the start of the JV team, we hear on the PA announcer somebody's name being called an awful lot.
Yeah, Drew Foster has been pacing us these past few games.
How many points does he average?
I don't know average off the top of my head. It's
got to be high teens.
It's got to be high teens, yeah. I mean, he's just so consistent. He's very skilled at getting to the rim, and he's crafty. I mean, he's got great footwork, and he's really able to make it happen. But he's got 2 brothers, Trey and Nick Foster, and they all sort of have different skill sets. Drew's real crafty driving. Trey's also pretty crafty, but he's longer and he knows how to use it. And Nick is a great spot-up shooter. So all 3 of them kind of affect the game in different ways. But they make things easy on me as a coach because it's easy to play all 3 of them together. So
what's your record?
So we are 9-6.
Wow,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
And then we got a freshman, Luke Vors, who first game out. He was one of those guys who we started him on JV knowing he's a freshman and it's going to be up and down. And the first game we played this season, he had 20 and 10. And
oh my gosh!
I mean, it's being a freshman. It's been up and down since then. But he's a great rebounder and just a great kid too. One of those guys who's easy to coach and he's very responsive and loves the game of basketball. So
that's cool. Brian, tell me, Bryce, excuse me. How you're coaching the kids. It's got to be, you're young. You can relate to them that way. Do they remember you and when what your teams did? And
yeah,
you talk about that much and during game day, you say, hey, back in my day, which isn't that long ago.
Yeah, so they remember watching me play. It's one of those things where it's helpful. It's helpful that like I mentioned, I was fortunate to play on some pretty good teams. Played small college ball.
Played with Benny Patterson.
Yeah, played with Benny Patterson. I mean, quite a great teammate to have. But it's helpful because it helps lend credibility where they know that, anything we talk about, and they know with Coach Harrington too, this is the same thing. Anything we talk about, we're not just blowing smoke.
Sure.
I mean, it's one of those things where I can tell they respect us both, and we we care about them and we want to see the best from them, and it's a good relationship to have, especially being as young as I am. I'm very glad for the relationship that I'm able to have with the kids because of that.
Well, Bryce, we really appreciate you stepping in and filling in tonight, and would love to see you anytime you want to come. You're more than welcome. Good luck. I think Tri-County basketball is in great hands right now with your JV squad coming up. You got some automatic refills there for any of your seniors. I know you're going to miss them, but you got some guys I'm sure that are pretty anxious to step in. So good luck. Good luck this week, and hey, we'll see you guys tomorrow night, and look forward to some good Cavalier basketball the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
All right, Bryce Cook from the Tri-County Cavaliers, and hey, we just got a halftime score from Kankakee Valley against Hobart in the Valparaiso 4A girls sectional, and the Lady Cougs are leading at the break 23-15. So want to pass that on to you, and we'll come back with more from the Coach's Cage show. Come back and join us as let's see who's up next here on the schedule. I think it's going to be Brian Heimlich will join us next from the North White Girls Lady Viking program.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook, or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our friends. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117, or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Welcome back to the 3KG Coach's Cage Show every Wednesday night, live from Arnie's Pizzeria in Rensselaer. I want to thank the good folks here at Arnie's and all our fine sponsors who we could not do this without their help. Joining us now, Brian Heimlich of the North White Lady Viking program. And Coach, I know it's been a tough, long year for you guys, but good time to have you here, visit with you, because you're coming off of 2 of your wins. Talk about your last 3 games that you had. And again, 2 of them were victorious. We saw you on last Saturday in a matinee affair where you played really well against North Newton, came away with a victory to start that trio of games off white.
Yeah, I mean, we started last week. We had a game with Frontier at home on Thursday.
That's right.
And, I thought we had a great crowd there. Our band was there. It was a great atmosphere. And our girls came out with a lot of energy. I mean, played very well from the start. Missed some opportunities offensively in the first half. But defensively, I thought we were really locked in and very, active and in our zone, and not letting them get any good looks, and then limiting them to one shot. And we were getting out in transition, and I think we were leading by 11 at the half, and then the second half or the third quarter really we took off, and Morgan Carter came out and hit 4 threes in the second half, and I think she actually hit 3, but she. Something we've been looking forward to is her, going off, and we see it in practice at times, and that was good to see, because it's going to open things up for the inside with Autumn. Obviously teams kind of put their focal point on her, but it was a good win for us. Girls played well, and it was a conference game. I think going into January, our goal was to go 4-0 in the conference in January, because we had 4 left, and so that was the second of 2, because we had played South Newton earlier in January, and then like you said, on Saturday we went over to North Newton. And let's talk about the Thursday atmosphere. It was a little less like that. It was a Saturday morning game, and just not many people rescheduled, that type of thing. It just makes it really hard, and so there's not a lot of energy in the gym to begin with, and the bus trip over, and I just felt like we were kind of flat from the start, and North Newton had more energy than we did.
And some of that 3-point shooting came with you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. First quarter, we got down. It was 13-5 at the end of the first quarter, and I mean they were just outworking us. They got some offensive putbacks. I think they had a couple of those, knocked down some shots, and we weren't. And that's second quarter defensively we stepped up. I thought we started guarding just a little bit better, keeping the ball out of the paint, and limiting those second chance opportunities. And then that day, Katie Westerhouse, our freshman, came off the bench and really gave us a lift offensively. She knocked down a 3 in that, I think, in that first half, and then I think she ended up knocking down 3 threes in the game, and had scored in double figures for the first time this year. And and then Autumn Rife, was able to break the press a couple times in that second half as well and score. And but again, defensively, we were able to get some stops late, because we were up 6, and then with about 3 minutes to go, and then just like that, it was tied, and then it was just a battle to the end. And fortunately, we were able to make enough plays to get the win. So so then we were right there. We were 3-0, like we had said, started out for that goal, and then we had a makeup game with DeMont Christian, which both of us had the bye in the sectional, so we were able to make it up Monday night, and it was at our place. And that was they're a good team this year. I mean, a little over 500, and they had played some teams real tough, and they've got size. They got a couple shooters, and I thought we really battled well throughout the entire night. It was just back and forth. It really didn't get much more than about 6 either way the entire night. And then we had another girl step up from a 3-point range. We three games in a row, and we had 3 different girls step up and hit threes. Sable George hit 4 in that game, and
wow.
And Morgan had hit another one. But I mean, that's something that we, early in the year we were not doing. We weren't shooting the ball well from the perimeter, and so Sable hit 4. So I mean, in back-to-back games, 3 different girls hit multiple 3-point shots, and that really helps your offense when you get that. So I mean, that's something that's going to be a springboard for us. And but fortunately for us, we I think it was 33-33 with 30 seconds left. We had the ball out of bounds and turned it over. They got a layup out of it, and that's how they took the lead. And then we didn't score, and then they scored the extra bucket there right at the buzzer, or towards the end of the buzzer. So it was a good. I thought it was a good test for the sectional game for us. It was a physical, hard-fought game, and something that we needed to be in, and kind of like the North Newton game. Whereas, those situations we haven't been in a lot this year. We have a young team, but we haven't had many opportunities to where we have to really execute down the stretch. And so that was another one where it was good to be in that situation. Those will always help you down, later on, whether it's this year, next year, whatever. But so it was a good battle. We just fortunately weren't able to get it, but now we move on to the next one.
Let's talk about Autumn Rife a little bit. I think she's got a tremendous amount of talent, and I love her motor. She just seems like, she'll take it to the big girls, and if she had a couple more inches on her, she'd really be dangerous. But even now, she doesn't back down to anybody.
Yeah, and she's still learning the game. I mean, last year as a freshman, she really came on at the end of the year, but wasn't really a focal point of our offense. When we had Tessa Robertson, I mean, Autumn was kind of the second post and was able to kind of use that athletic ability, just rebound, and then feed off of Tessa. Tessa could get her, she could get offense rebounds, whatever. Whereas this year she has to be the focal point of our offense, and she's still learning, the post moves, those types of things, and just our footwork. But she has got a ton of athletic ability. I mean, it's unlimited there. I mean, she's strong. She's got speed. She can jump. So I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do, and she's still learning the game. And so there's the sky's the limit with that, with what she can do. But she's coming a long way just this year, I think. I mean, she's done a tremendous job from the beginning of the year, and I think part of that too is our other girls have stepped up and have done well. I mean, Sable George as a guard handles the ball, has done a lot better job, and then Morgan and Kaylin Applegate at the other position there, and then like I said, Katie Westeros the other night. I mean, that takes pressure off where some now teams can't maybe triple team her, because there's times there's 3 people in there, and Autumn's still learning when that happens to be able to give it up and not try to force things up to her. But she is definitely going to be a solid player for even a couple more years yet.
Did you see the potential with those with Westerhouse and George coming up with those big 3-point shooting nights? Did you know that they had that in them?
Yeah, I mean, we do. It's just a matter of them getting confidence in themselves, I think. Like I said, neither one. I mean, obviously, the Westerhouse is a freshman, and then Sable, was a junior, but it had no varsity experience coming into this year. Really didn't have to, hasn't learned that point position like she's had to play this year against some of the competition that we've played. And you could just see it. I mean, in the last probably 10 games, the difference that she's made, from the first 10 games, and she's gained a ton of confidence. She's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and and is getting 6, 8, 10 points even at that position, which really helps when you can get just get those other girls scoring 6, 8, 10 points. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is, but that just helps your offense overall.
JV, Lady Vikes, how are they doing this year?
Yeah, well, we didn't have enough to play 4 quarters every game. We played 2 quarters every game that we could. That the other team had that, and they actually in those 2 quarters, a lot of the games did very well. I mean, I've been happy with what they were able to do. It's nice to be able to play the 2 quarters rather than it used to be if you couldn't play 4, you didn't play. I mean, that was kind of changed that rule.
Oh, okay.
When COVID came about, and it's been nice for especially with teams whose numbers are low, because now those girls still get to play at least some. And if you want your program to keep stay get better, girls have to play. I mean, or else they're not going to come out then, or something like that. So I mean, I've seen that with football before when they don't have a JV team, it just snowballs. You know, the younger kids don't play, then they don't want to come out the next year, and then it just kind of becomes a snowball, like I said, a snowball effect where now your program's kind of, you know, is hurting. But I think the girls have done a good job, and you know, my assistant this year, we just had the two of us, but Taylor Hook is, you know, I can't express enough how much she helps us, you know, overall, you know, in all aspects of it. But she does a tremendous job, not only with the JV this year, but with our varsity girls and our post girls, and just overall, she's done a tremendous job as well.
Do you guys maintain close contact with the middle school levels?
Yeah, so their programs just start, or I mean, our 6th grade played before Christmas. That season's before Christmas, and then our 7th and 8th grade just within the last 2 weeks has started playing their games. They start practicing a little bit before Christmas, and then you know, they play down in some leagues early before Christmas, but then their season has just started, so they're underway. And you know, we've got you know, I think there's some talent down there that's going to help us here in the future. So you know, they've still got another month to play. It goes right up to the first week of March, and you know, so you know, there's a lot of in both of the 7th and 8th grade, the girls that really enjoy basketball and want to keep playing and keep learning, and so we're looking forward to that.
Let's talk a little bit about Friday. You drew the bye. You'll play Tri-County, who's got to be, you know, one of the favorite, at least co-favorite in that sectional with Caston. They both had really fine seasons via win and loss. I'm trying to look back. You played Tri-County back on November 28th and lost pretty big, 63-18. What do you do different as a coach? You know, you can throw in the kitchen sink against teams. You have certain things that you just kind of come up with out of nowhere. I mean, hey, you got nothing to lose, that old saying for Friday night when, you know, trying to pull up a big upset.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know that they're you know, they're one of the favorites. I mean, they've played well all year. They're the defending champion. They beat us last year. They've got a lot of talent on that team. I mean, a lot of shooters. They got some ball handlers. They've got some size and length. I mean, they've got a lot of things that, you know, you want when you're putting back together a basketball team. So, but you know, for us, you know, that's just what you said. We told the girls the other night that, you know, we have nothing to lose. We just got to go out and play hard. You know, and I think we're a better team than we were at that point in the season then. I mean, we've improved tremendously. We just need to go out and kind of show that. I mean, I know they have too. You know, we're going to have to do a lot of things well. You know, defensively, you know, we're going to have to limit their three-point shots because they've had some games where they, you know, they can light it up, and it's not just one or two girls. They've got 3 or 4 girls that can shoot the basketball. So you're going to have to really get out to the shooters and know where they're at, not give them open looks. And then the second part of that is rebounding. I mean, you know, like I said, they've got some size and some long arm girls that, you know, can just go over the top of it if you don't box out and go up and go get it. And you know, just watching that game, the first game of that sectional, you know, they had a ton of second chance opportunities, and then kind of even going back to our game, it was kind of the same thing. So we're gonna have to rebound, you know, once we get stops, and then on offensive end, obviously, you're gonna have to take care of the basketball. I mean, if we don't take care of the basketball, it's gonna be a long night because they're gonna pressure you, and they close off some lanes. So, you know, if we can take care of it and get shots. Now, as I said, we've had some girls step up and be confident shooters. So if some of those fall, you know, we just want to give ourselves a chance and, you know, make that game a game all the way through the fourth quarter and see what we can do. That's our goal. You know, so now we just got to go out and see if we can execute that. But they're a good team, so it's going to be a tough task. Yeah. Yes.
All right, Brian. Best of luck to you and your gals on Friday, and we look forward to you coming back next week and talk about the season, where you're at, and you know how the Friday game went, and maybe Saturday game.
That's right. That's our goal, is to be playing on Saturday first. So
that'd be cool. All right. Thank you, Brian Heimlich of the North White Lady Vikings. We will come back with more on 3KG, the Cage weekly pregame show.com.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund. You need someone who can help you work towards your goals. Someone to help you move forward in the times of change. Call Mindy Byer at Morgan Stanley. Mindy has 20 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Northwest Indiana. To make an appointment with Mindy Byer, call 765-420-8433. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask, give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Welcome back to the weekly Coach's Cage show from Arnie's Pizzeria. Joining us now is West Central Trojans boys coach Brad Odom. And coach, we just talked a little bit off the air. You guys have in the midst of a very busy schedule here, part of your schedule.
Yeah,
lots of games.
Yeah, the weather did some tricks on us in January, and we had to back up a few games, so we're going to have a few pretty full weeks coming up.
Can we test your memory banks and maybe go back to that Caston game, or which one? What do you want to start? We had your last two were Winnemac and Knox, also a couple tough games, but
yeah, we can go back to Caston. So
okay.
The Caston game, we had missed a couple of games, rescheduled, so we had a few days off where we hadn't been in the gym. Had an early dismissal on the Monday. We're supposed to play maybe Monday night with Caston. We hurried up and rescheduled it for Tuesday. Didn't have school Tuesday, but went to Caston in the fog. Went over there and actually played a pretty good first half. Made a couple of mistakes late. It ended up, I think it was 38-28 at half. So we told the kids, hey, let's rally. They'd hit some threes in the corner. We wanted to make sure we got out on their shooters. And they just kept burying shot after shot on us, and it kind of snowballed and got away from us in the third quarter. I believe Caston hit 11 threes in that game.
Oh, wow.
And you know, those are types of things you can't come back from, and the score got pretty lopsided at the end.
That's hard to. What do you tell your kids when their team is at unconscious?
Well, a couple things. You know, number one, we got to make sure we maintain our focus, but we hadn't been on the floor in a long time. So we kind of expected there'd be some downtime or some times where we would struggle. And that's common, when you hadn't played a game in almost 2 weeks. But we told them right after the game that hey, let's build off our first half effort. We kind of fell apart in the second half, but we had our county rival coming up, so it's pretty easy to get built right back up and ready to
go
for Winnemac. Winnemac game, a possession or two here or there, a stop here or there, a call here or there. It's I believe it was 33-30 with about a minute to go in the third. They had decided to kind of hold the ball out top, and we were in a 2-3 zone, so we let them play it out. Missed a coverage late. They hit a three at the buzzer, went 36-30, or maybe it was 33. Anyway, it was 6 points at the end of the third. And then we just couldn't get anything momentum-wise going offensively. Dealing with some injuries and some other adversity. I had kids playing out of position quite a bit. Had to use Bryce Naniga as our post player for the first time all year, and then we go to Knox the next night, and we've got a bunch of kids sick and a few kids injured, and we had to bring up some JV kids to compete, playing multiple quarters I hadn't all year, and in that game Bryce ends up being our point guard.
Oh gosh!
So we've had a little bit of everything in the last week, but we've got to be better for it, and we've got to turn our focus to Frontier.
Who, let's clump the games. Who's really played well and, held you guys together the most?
Oh, Bryce Naniga is our leading scorer. He's scoring right around 22 points a game in his last 6 or 7 games. Connor Marlatt never comes off the floor for us, unless he's in foul trouble. He's one of our best defenders. He's our additional guard. We're trying to find ways to be creative to get him maybe some better looks than what he's got. But he's a kid that can play in transition. He's our second leading rebounder. Brendan Grindstaff is our point guard as a freshman. Probably not shooting the ball as well as he'd like right now, but I think that's just a combination of logging a lot of minutes on a varsity floor, which that wears out kids. You kind of hit that freshman wall at some point, and we're looking for him to bounce back. But we're asking a lot of him, the stress of handling everything and running the show, and also trying to put pressure up in our pressure defense looks.
I remember him against South Newton when we had you guys. He was pretty impressive for a freshman.
And I think that was his first start, So, I mean, he's had about a month and a half of varsity time now, and we're hoping that he gets a little more comfortable and a little more confident, because we tell him he's got a green light. If you think you've got an opening or you think you've got a chance to knock down a shot, you got to take it. So, Jaden Miller, he plays an off guard for us. He's probably our best defender, one of our toughest kids. And then now we're kind of, all hands on deck in that 5th spot because we've had so many different injuries and things come up the last month or so.
Now, are the injuries, is it, you going to get over that, or is it anybody out for the year?
Zach Benning hurt his groin, so we don't really know
that's a tough one, isn't it?
You don't really know the severity of one of those, but typically those are anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. He's also sick right now, so we haven't seen him at school all week. I was telling the coaches over there a second ago, we have 21 kids in the program, and we haven't had more than 10 or 11 all week.
Are you kidding? Wow,
so,
is that bad?
We've been missing Connor Marlatt all week. Austin Bolden came back for the first time today.
Ouch.
So, we're going to have to be pretty creative in how we try to piece together a lineup and try to keep kids as fresh as we can as they're battling through some respiratory things and fighting off the flu and things like that.
Is that kind of going through the West Central School District? High school?
Probably not as bad as it did earlier in the year, but for whatever reason, it's kind of zeroed in on our basketball team.
Oh,
so
boy.
We've got a little bit of everything going on right now. But you gotta fight through whatever is dealt your way, and you've got to make sure that you compete at the highest level that you can. And if that means we got to play some younger kids and put them in positions that maybe they're not ready for, we'll have to try to find a way for them to handle it.
It's good you do have 21 kids you can go lean back on.
Yeah. We have a couple of sophomores we've brought up. We brought up another junior to the mix. So it's just a matter of when you get your opportunity, you got to take full advantage of it, and you got to make the most of it.
How has the junior varsity Trojans fared so far this year?
They're kind of in the same boat with us. We got to find a way to score the basketball a little bit better. We got to be a little tougher. We've got to be able to rebound to run. And we don't always have that size inside to be able to do that. We're asking a couple of freshman kids to play the post the majority of the time. And they might be out of position a little bit, asking them to play inside. I know both of them want to kind of shoot the ball from the three-point line a little more than what we'd like them to. But they're more comfortable out there, and that takes an adjustment. These kids have been forwards most of their lives, and we're asking them to go inside and battle kids that are bigger and stronger and maybe a little older than they are. And that's a part of the learning process. We have another kid who's a little overmatched in there too, but he's a battler in Landon Hughes. Landon's fearless. He's kind of like the Dennis Rodman of the program. If there's a ball on the floor, it finds Landon, or Landon finds it. If there's a loose ball or there's a rebound weak side, he's always seeming to get there. But he's also oversized too, or undersized, I should say. So it's just a matter of, continue to work in those situations and try to get those kids ready to go so they can help us at the top as soon as possible.
What do you got coming up on the schedule here?
So we got Frontier tomorrow night. They do a good job of mixing defenses and running some run and jump looks that kind of slow you down.
Oh, that's back at your place too. That's good.
It is, and that's a game where we're going to have to shoot the ball better than we have the last few games as well. For whatever reason, when we've played solid, it's kind of been a race to 40 or 45, and to be successful at the varsity level, you got to be in the 50s. So we need some help scoring the basketball. Hopefully Brendan gets some good looks tomorrow night, and Connor can take it to the hole, and we can be creative in how we use Bryce to be able to be successful offensively. And then next week we've got back-to-back games Friday and Saturday. We go to we have Tri-Township at home. They're a team that typically has played a lot of 2-3. So we'll have to be ready for that, and then we go to Hebron, and Hebron is gigantic. I mean, they've got 3 guys bigger than anybody we have on the entire roster. We might have to stack them on top of each other and see how we can defend.
That might be a tough challenge.
Yeah, they're huge.
I saw they really had their way with Rensselaer here just recently, and they must have a good team. I think their record, they only maybe lost one.
Yeah, they're about as good as it gets for a 2A team around here.
Well, it never gets any easier, does it? Especially 1A school.
Yeah, but that's our schedule. You're going to play the teams that are close to you, and you've got to find a way to try to compete night in and night out and continue to get better. And that's got to be our focus.
What's your overall outlook here on getting back in the coaching business here this year? Has it been tougher than you thought, or is it going about? I mean, obviously you're pretty experienced. You've done it many years.
Well, we talked to the kids about, we've had to handle a lot of adversity this year, maybe a little more than we expected, from a variety of different ways. But how you handle adversity is a sign of character, and a lot of these kids aren't necessarily going to go on and play basketball at the next level, but you want to be able to show your character and show your toughness in whatever profession or whatever you choose to do after school. So we've talked a lot about that. Basketball doesn't define who you are as a person. The only person that gets to sign that record is my name. That's not a reflection on them or how hard they work or how much they've improved. So, we try to keep that in focus all the time. And we want to build things. It's not just about this year. It's about all the kids in the program from top to bottom, and you want to get those kids, excited about the future. And you want to keep them, their eyes on the ultimate goal, and that's to have a program the community can rally around and get excited about. And our Winamac crowd the other night was phenomenal. We had a great atmosphere. It was packed on both sides. It was loud, and the kids had fun with it. Unfortunately, we just came up a little short.
All right, Brad. Thank you very much for joining us again. Good luck tomorrow night with your Midwest Conference game. Those are always big, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just a little bit more special.
Yeah, we got to find a way to get one, guys.
All right. Brad Odom of the West Central Trojans will be back with more 3KG, the Kage show. Come back, join us.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Midwest Contractor Services of Rensselaer, with over 15 years of experience, offers both insulation and gutter services for new construction and existing homes in Jasper, Newton, Lake, and Porter counties. You could save money and lower energy bills by adding more insulation to your house. New installation project? Let Midwest Contractor Services offer you a custom insulation package that fits your needs. Leaves in your gutter? Let us give you a price on leaf protection products that really work and are affordable. Call Marty or Mark at Midwest Contractor Services today at 219-866-0755 and get an estimate for your project.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage Show, live from Arnie's Pizzeria here in Rensselaer. Joining us now is Lady Bomber coach Wes Radke, 22-1 Lady Bomber coach, 3rd ranked in the state in the Class 3A poll, Lady Bomber coach. So, Coach, we just can't say enough about the season your girls have had so far, and kind of had a nice bounce back week, getting that bad taste of the Hamilton Heights, the one notch against you on the season, that crossover conference, Hoosier Conference game. That was tough for you guys on the road, but you sure bounced back in a big way last week with wins over DeMont Christian and Munster.
Yeah.
Talk to them a little bit about those games.
Well, he knows how to bring that old salt back up to the front of Adonai and that wound. But yeah, we played at KV, and then we on Tuesday night after the Hamilton Heights game. So.
Oh, that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
we
Okay.
played at KV. And went there, and again, a rivalry game, the county rivalry game, and it's a big game. We didn't have practice on Monday because of the weather, and weren't too sure about playing on Tuesday because we didn't have school. But we went ahead and got the game in Tuesday night. It was their senior night, so they were amped up and ready to go, and it was a great atmosphere. You guys were there, so it was a great atmosphere to be in, a great atmosphere to coach, and we came out right away from the start, and it was a fun game to watch back and forth. We put some pressure on, and ended up in the first quarter 20-13. And again, they did some nice things. They hit some shots. We didn't rotate very well early on, and then in the second quarter, it was by halftime. It was 38-25, and it was a battle. It was back and forth. They hit some shots on us, and we hit some, and they were knocking down their free throws, and so we came out that third quarter, and we knew we had to turn up the intensity and take it to another level, and we ended up scoring 17 to their 8 in the third quarter. So at the end of the third quarter, it's 55-33, and the girls were playing really well, flying around, doing some great things, and then the fourth quarter we ended up pulling away a little more. 67-45 was the final, and Cameron Rowland led us with 24 points in that game. Just a complete beast on the boards, hitting free throws. She was just doing a lot of great things in that game.
3-pointers? Well, you name it.
Yeah, she was hitting everything in that game and doing a lot of stuff off the ball, and again just crashing the boards and getting a lot of putbacks. And then Taylor had 11, and she was playing real hard. She got a little foul trouble there for a little bit in that second quarter, but came back out and continued to lead us in the defensive side of things and just being a leader on the floor. And it was nice to have Carly Drone wake up there. She's been kind of struggling a little bit. She ended up with 13 for us. She hit 3 threes and just did a really nice job. And Brody came in there and had 7 points and hit a buzzer beater.
Boy, she
there.
had a big game. Wow.
Yeah, she did a nice job for us, rebounding and doing some things that we needed her to do that she can do night in, night out.
She came in early, right, because
Yeah.
of some foul trouble?
Yeah, we had some foul trouble, like I said, between Kaufman had some foul trouble, but I thought the second half, Sarah came out possessed and driven and ready to do things, and she really stepped up the notch on the defensive end and really helped her teammates out and just moving the ball and just doing a lot of great things. So again, we ended up winning that 67-45 and a great win for us, coming off of a challenging loss like we did against Hamilton Heights, and it was one of those games where I was curious to see how the girls are going to react, how they're going to take the fact of we lost and then we didn't get to practice, and now we got to play a game against KV, which is always a tough game no matter what their records are. So it was good to see us respond in a positive way.
It seemed like the only way that they were really consistently hurting you guys was driving the lane a little bit.
Yeah, we didn't do a very good job of closing the lane out and taking away that drive and our rotations, and so we have to get better at that. It's something we've been working on for this weekend with sectionals coming up, trying to eliminate that threat to ourselves, because when it happens and you get yourself in foul trouble, people start reaching, start doing things, and it just gets really in a bad way for us that we can't allow that to happen. So it's something we've had to address. So then Thursday we pick up DeMont Christian because normally we would play Hebron, and of course Hebron doesn't have a team, so we pick up DeMont Christian. First time I've ever been to their gym, first time we've ever played them. They needed a game because of Hebron. We were needing a game. It was the same time, and it was close proximity. So let's do this. And so I had no idea what that gym was like until we got there. Unique, different, small, 7 rows on each side. It was tough fitting everybody in there, but we got everybody in, and I'd watched them on film. They have some size. They got the 2 Baker sisters who are nice big girls. They have a few other players that are good sized girls, and it was a little more. Even though the score is not indicative, they play hard. They get after it pretty good, and Coach DeFries has got a good thing going there with that size that he has, and so at the end of the first quarter, it was 23-9, and we knew with our pressure we could turn them over quite a bit, and again, we started right back off where we left off on Tuesday. Drone hit some threes, Taylor hit some threes. We were hitting layups and doing some things. Roland was hitting free throws, so we were really able to do a lot of great things. And then it just continued up until halftime. At halftime, it was 42-21. And again, they had the Baker girls are nice players. They have some size and some length, and they gave us some problems here or there with some inside stuff that we had to address at halftime. But other than that, I mean, we came out the third quarter, and the game wasn't much in doubt after that, because we held them to only 14 shots the entire game. So they shot 11 for 14. Which they shot really well, but we only allowed them to shoot the ball 14 times, which I thought was really good in the defensive part for the girls to really make them have to work for those shots and to limit those shots. And so at the end of the game, it was 66-32, and we had 3 girls in double figures, with Van Meter with 20, Kaufman with 10, Roland with 15. Drone was not far behind with 9. So I mean, they had a good output from everybody. Brody came in again in the bench and scored 4 for us. And Cadence kind of struggled a little bit, but she did some nice things defensively. And then Bailey, my other daughter, senior, she had a 3 in the corner. So they all had a nice job and did a nice job contributing to the win on the road at DeMont Christian. And a very good young DeMont Christian team who next year could do a lot of damage in that 1A. So they did a nice job.
For a team that really hangs their hat on their defensive effort, and their success kind of flows from that. To be averaging your points at 63.4 on offense, you got to be pretty happy with that.
I do, but the girls' goal was 70, and that's something that they are still striving to get, even though the regular season's over. That's something that they want to try to maintain that high intensity output on the offensive side, and yet still defensively. I mean, that average of 35 is what their goal was, to keep teams 35 points or less, and they've done that consistently all year long. That loss to Hamilton Heights was obviously not the case. But and when we played Munster, they scored 47 on us, and that's a pretty good team, and Munster. So, but to average that's not. I mean, I'll take it, but I'm not going to complain about it. But when you look at the goals the girls set for themselves, it's something I remind them of. You're the one that has to reach these goals. You're the one that has to do that. But as a coach, I'm very proud of them.
Let's talk about that Munster game. That was kind of unique. It really fell into place nicely that you could have such a competitive team, big team, great record.
They were 18-3, a 4A school. We were looking for a game for our senior night because we lost it, and we put some feelers out there, made some phone calls and some emails, and Munster said they'd absolutely love to come down. And so when you look at Munster on film, when you watch who they play, I mean, they're in the same conference as KV and Highland and that conference. So it's a very tough conference, a very tough quality team. And again, they're 18-3. So they're not going to come in and just be a blowover or just an easy team. They're a very high quality, well-coached team, very respectful team. So they came down, and it's our senior night. And so we start our seniors, so our rotation's not exactly what it typically is. So we start our seniors in this game, and right from the start, we were doing great things. They have a really good player, a sophomore in Gallard. She's, if you haven't watched her play, man, that kid is good. She was giving us all we could handle and then some. And they ran a 1-3-1 the entire time. Then they tried to run a diamond press on us, and we handled it very well. I thought the girls played extremely well, extremely hard. Taylor played one of her best games I've seen her play, which is good for us, for her to start peaking right now and start playing at the top of her game, and even not even at the top yet, but still getting close to that. She ended up with 26 that night and just did an all-around great game. In the first quarter, it was 18-15, so it was a game. It was a tough, tight game. They were very athletic, very long, very quick, and it's something we hadn't seen in a while, which was good for us to see that before the end of the season was over. And then at the halftime, it was 35-24. We went on a run there in the second quarter. Again, Taylor hitting some threes. Cadence pulled up from the white line and just nailed the shot, and I was like, ooh. And she hit it, had confidence in the shot, so that really put us up at halftime, like I said, 35-24. Coming out the third quarter, we just didn't look back. We came out, we scored 23 points in that third quarter, and we were just clicking on all cylinders. We were hitting shots, we were making passes, the extra pass that we talk about all the time, getting good looks, and then getting to the free throw line, knocking down the free throws, which we were 13 for 18 in the game, which is a plus for us, and to be able to do that. And then again, the final score ended up being 73-47, and we really just pulled away in that fourth quarter and completely just did a great job of being a very good Munster team who I know they lost last night to a great Lake Central team, but they were leading all the way up to that fourth quarter against Lake Central. So again, for us to beat a good quality team of Munster was a good way to end out the season for us on a senior night.
Well, it's so often said you want to have your team playing its best. That this time of year, it seems like there's no doubt Lady Bombers are.
And I hope that's what we've talked about. That's what we're going for on Friday, is to be playing our best basketball, to continue what we're doing, and continue hopefully to be playing in a championship game on Saturday night.
Speaking about that Twin Lakes sectional, geez, oh Pete, I mean, talk about loaded. You've got 4 teams in the Class 3A top 12 in that sectional. That's got to be almost unheard of.
It's been that way all year long. You put Twin Lakes up in there, which there for a while they were doing that, and they did a nice job of keeping themselves in the hunt of things. So again, when you have West Lafayette, who played Frankfurt last night, and we went over there last night and watched a little bit of that, and then left, and I know Twin Lakes and Western are playing tonight, and I know that North Montgomery and BC will be playing afterwards. So it's going to be a dogfight, and it's going to be a battle that we have to be ready to go, and we have to be ready to play the game.
How tough is it to beat these teams multiple times in a season?
Everybody asked me that question, but in the same aspect, last year BC beat us 3 times. West Lafayette's beat us 3 times. So if they can do it, why can't we do the same exact thing? So I really believe that your toughest opponent in this situation and playing somebody 3 times is yourself. Whether you can't get overconfident, you have to be humble, you have to be hungry, you have to continue to work at it, and you can't look past anybody just because you beat them twice. Doesn't mean the 3rd time is going to be easy. In the same aspect, you played them twice, and you should be able to understand what you have to do to get the job done. So it's not easy. We understand that. We know that, and we have to take it one game at a time, and we have to show up and take care of business right from the start. We can't look ahead, can't look behind. We got to be focused.
We've got West Lafayette coming in off of a big win over Frankfurt, 69-18 last night. That sectional with that amount of teams, that was the only game, so they're riding high. What will you tell your girls, at the start now, that this is it, and you could have 3 top-notch opponents? You got a 22-1 season already there to hang your hat on. What would you tell your girls to make sure they're playing their best Friday night?
22-1's past. We're at 0-0, and we got to bring our best game every night. You got to play like it's your last game. You got to play like it's your last chance. You got to play like it's a championship game. You have to have that mentality. You have to have that belief. You have to have the confidence to know that you can get this job done, and you have to know that it's not going to be easy, but we have to be able to take their best shots and be able to stand on our 2 feet and keep fighting forward and not look down and hang our heads.
Do you think, just looking at it real quick here, you probably don't even want to answer this, but is there one team that scares you the most out of West Lafayette, Benton Central or Western?
They all scare you. I mean, with our conference and the way they play, anything can happen, and there's no reason to think that on any given night you can't be beat, and we have to be prepared that doesn't happen. And they all have pluses and negatives of why it would be beneficial to play them and why it wouldn't be. I mean, we've played BC, we've played Twin Lakes, we haven't played Western yet. So I mean, if we're looking at an opponent we haven't faced yet, Western would be the one that you would talk about. But they've been up in the top 10 all year long. They're a very well coached team. They're heavy with seniors, and they're hungry for a win. So, it doesn't matter really who it is. You just got to be ready, because if not, you're going to go home.
All right. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you coming by. I'm sure this is a very busy time for you, sectional week. I know what I wanted to ask you. When we were at KV, are you related to Russ Radke?
Russ is my cousin.
Is your cousin?
Yeah.
That's
so him and I were having some candid words on the side.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. Yeah. We were having some words. I didn't agree with some of his calls, and of course he doesn't agree with IC. So the family reunion ought to be interesting when we run into each other again to have that conversation.
There you
go. He's a better football coach than he is an official, I guess.
Where is he at now, Coach?
He's at Knox.
Knox,
he's
okay.
At Knox, yeah.
All right. What was there a stop in between from Griffith to?
Yes, he was at New Prairie.
New Prairie, okay,
he was
that's
at
what
New
I
Prairie
thought.
for quite a few years, and then went to Knox. And actually, he left New Prairie to go to Portage, and didn't work out at Portage, and ended up at Knox. So, but he's been doing it a long time.
Coach, What's up? What do you do practice week as far as, when you have the bye here and you're?
I try to keep it as simple as possible and the same routine as possible, the same practice, the same stuff that's got us to where we're at right now. I've been doing this long enough that if I start changing things up, that's not always the best thing to do. And so we try to be consistent with the girls. We try to keep our times consistent of what we've been doing, and try to keep them as humble as possible and as hungry as possible to keep them working towards the goals that they want to reach and that I believe they can make.
All right, Coach, thank you very much, and all the best of luck to the Bombers. We'll be watching very, very closely, seeing how you guys do.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you.
All right, Coach Wes Radke of the Rensselaer Central Lady Bombers. Come back and join us for more on 3kgthecage.com.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
At Applegate Seed House, we specialize in any and all small seed project needs. This includes government programs, CRP, pollinators and waterways, pasture mixes, and new lawn seed. Applegate Seed House is located 2 miles north of Brook, Indiana, and 2.5 miles east of Highway 41. Call Sam at 765-363-3113. That's Sam at Applegate Seed House, 765-363-3113.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Welcome back to Coach's Cage Show tonight, live from Arnie's Pizzeria, as it is every Wednesday night. Bob Kurtz behind the spinning the dials tonight and run the camera, and Bill Kay with you. Joining us now, Coach Chris York of the North Newton Lady Spartans. Coach, you are the one coach here that's wrapped up their season already last night, Tuesday night, unfortunately. Not in a good way, but it did wrap up a busy string of games for you here. We've got, I think, 3 games to talk about. And, hey, we start with a win. Came against your big rival, South Newton. Kind of a strange setup. You played them twice this year, and I'm sure it was nice for your girls to come away with a bit of revenge from the first time around.
Yeah, it was nice. I think we were fortunate to be able to play that game, to have us both kind of replace our Donovan game, to have us both have it be a pink out game. It didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, but Coach and I both talked about how we can change that in the future. There were miscommunications and everything, and it was kind of thrown together at the end. But it could be something that maybe we could do on a yearly basis, where we do a home and home. Now, the one thing that might throw a wrench in that, though, is if we do wind up in 1A, if we do wind up at that sectional, maybe we don't want to play each other twice when you would have a chance of playing each other 3 times on the season. So, we discussed that. But yeah, it was great to get into that game and play it, and it really wasn't going any differently than the first game in the first half. It
Really?
Was, really, yes. It was 7-6 at the end of one. We went in down, 21-10.
Oh my gosh.
21-10 at halftime, and I think it was 19-12. I think the first time we played each other, and halftime wasn't fun at all. It was, it was talking about effort, and it was just not good at all. But we went. What did they have? They had 21 points, and Addie Standish already had 16. So we went out second half.
Wild on you in the first game.
She most certainly did. And in the second half, we decided to use Piper Ivy, and actually Ava Ivy too. But Piper pretty much spent the whole second half just face guarding her, and she still scored 12 because there were a couple times that she got out on breakouts, long bomb passes, layups, and a couple steals that became layups. She still scored 12, but for the most part, we gobbled up that lead. We were only down by 4, and then they had a couple of, you guys have seen us. You know how we finish out quarters. And we didn't finish out a quarter very well, and we went from being only 4 down in the end of the third to being down 8. So that made the mountain a little, farther to climb. But we outscored them 18-6 in the fourth quarter. And we wound up getting a 42-38 win. It wasn't pretty. We shot 11 for 22 from the free throw line. They were 8 out of 18, and it was just one of those things. But we pressed full court, and it caused some problems. Now we'll talk about that in a second, about us doing that against North White, and it cost us on a couple of really important baskets. But to close out the South Newton game, and we finished our season. We didn't have Summer for the game against South Newton, or against North White, or against Lake Station, because she got banged up. So, that allowed Piper Ivy to start on that Thursday night game against South Newton, and she started the remaining 3 games, and we'll talk some more about her because she did some pretty good things in the 3 games.
I like her motor,
yes.
as they say. She seems like a full effort girl.
Yeah, she is, and she really seems to like the game. And the other day at practice, we were doing this drill where you've got a ball on a chair, and you just go back and forth, and you're shooting bank shots, right? Well, I saw her really running harder than I've seen her run ever, and it just put a big smile on my face because she was working so hard and she was doing so well. But back to this, and we can talk about her some more. In that game, McKenna Schliemann scored 24 points. She had 22 rebounds.
Wow.
Summer wasn't there, so McKenna's gobbling up every rebound that's there. And of course, McKenna's taller than everybody that South Newton has. So they didn't have any answers for her. The shots that she was missing in the first half, she was making most of those in the second half. And a lot of those were also second chance opportunities like we saw against North White. What other stats did she have? She had a couple steals. Cheyenne Cahill had 9 points and 5 assists. Piper Ivy, and June Busboom each had 4 points. Piper had 5 rebounds, and June had 3 assists on the game. So it was good to get that win. And after having that win in that pink out game, they really liked the uniforms and everything. We went to senior night, or senior day, against North White. Another game that we thought we could definitely be in, and you guys did that game, and we scored 13 points in the first quarter. And I looked at, I was statting that game today because I kind of got behind things because we had the sectional game, and in the second quarter we didn't do anything different other than different people were shooting the ball. McKenna only had like 2 shots in that quarter, and McKenna's got to be somebody that has more shots than that.
Certainly.
We were consistent in turnovers in that game each quarter. Kind of 5, 6, 6, and 7. It's still kind of too many each quarter, but we didn't make a single shot, and we had 7, 8 shots that were right in the lane. So we're getting the shots we wanted, but we weren't making any of them. We went to the free throw line and missed 2 shots. We missed 3 3-pointers, but it wasn't. McKenna didn't get enough shots there. There were too many quick shots by other people, and it kind of cost us. They scored 8, we scored none, so we go in tied it at 13, and then they were up 21-18 at the end of the third, and at one point they had a 6-point lead in the fourth quarter, and they were gonna just stand there. I mean, Coach Heimlich's smart enough that he knows that when you have a lead, that's the way you play. And we wound up having to do the same thing we did against South Newton, where we went full court man-to-man, and we made the 26-20 lead into a 28-26 lead in our favor. So we went on an 8-0 run, and immediately after we went 28-26, they threw the ball to 32. I think her name is Reef, and she just blew right by her defender and went to the basket and scored. She wound up doing that another time there in the fourth quarter at a pivotal point, and we really couldn't come back from it. We lost that game 36-31, and it wasn't that we played terribly, but there were such pivotal mistakes. There was a baseline out of bounds where the person we're supposed to have covering the free throw line was guarding somebody else up the lane. Ball gets passed to the top of the key, 3-pointers drained, right? There were a couple times we just didn't get out on a 3-point shooter. There was a time on an out-of-bounds play where we just allowed 32 to just close somebody off. We stood behind her. She caught it. She scored. And then, of course, those couple of breakaway layups. In a 5-point game, those things just are huge.
Kill you.
At the free throw line, we were only 3 out of 11 in a 5-point game. It was just those kinds of things. So we had an opportunity to get our first and only win in the conference, and we didn't. So we wind up 0-7 in the conference. We didn't play terrible, but we didn't play well enough to win.
It was a nice senior day.
What's that?
Yes, it was a nice senior night celebration.
Yeah, to be able to play and play pretty well, it would have been better, I think, if we'd have come away with a win. But we still played pretty well. In that game, McKenna had 15 points and 14 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Cheyenne had 9 points again. Cheyenne Cahill. She had 4 rebounds and 4 assists, a couple steals. Piper Ivy had 4 points again, and she had 6 rebounds and 3 steals. She's always where the ball is, it seems. She had 5 deflections. Just like redirecting things. And you guys made the comment on the broadcast that every one of our passes gets deflected somehow. Every time we pass the ball, somebody from the other team has a hand on it. I told the kids if I had a nickel, I'd be retired for every single time. So obviously we have to work on ball fakes and all this other kind of thing, and not staring people down because every one of our passes gets deflected. But on a defensive end, we want to do that because we know how that disrupts an offense. When there's little bobbles, sometimes there's timing involved. June Busboom had 2 points and 4 rebounds and a couple steals. Paige Culberth had 5 rebounds, and I think that kind of covers most of those stats for that game. Going into the sectional, we're 6-17. We say it over and over again. There's at least 3 or 4 games we thought we really had a shot, but that doesn't really matter. It's still maybe 1 game better than last year. I guess that's progress. I don't know. And then we go into last night's sectional game, and we knew that had the potential of being really ugly, and that's precisely what it was. We played them the first time, and they got the ball for the very first time, and they called a timeout in that possession because they hadn't seen a defense like ours. And we were down 28-12 at halftime in that game, and they weren't hitting threes. Well, in this game, they got up real fast. I think it was like 22-0 at the end of the first quarter. They had already hit like 3 threes, and in the first game they didn't hit those. In this game they were hitting those and stealing the ball and making layups. And we were. I was telling Coach Zachary this today when I talked to him. We were 0 for 26 on 2-point field goals. And it's not like, when I look at this, it's not like, they were bad shots. In the first quarter, we had 5 shots right inside or in the lane. Second quarter wasn't so great. Third quarter, we had shots kind of in there. And then the fourth quarter, we had 6 shots within the lane, and we were 0 for 26. Our baskets, or our points, came on Dakota Dyer's 2 free throws. Piper Ivy had a 3, and Cheyenne Cahill had a 3. That was our 8 points. And, that is an awful feeling, standing on the sidelines. I had multiple games like that at Calumet with that 0-22 season. And, plenty of games. We scored 3 points. We scored 4 points. We scored single digits a lot. And just feeling so helpless, where the girls are trying to bring the ball up the floor, and you guys know, we throw the ball away. They don't have to take it from us sometimes. We just throw it away. And then there's the times where they're so athletic that they jump every pass, or they're fast enough where they tap the ball away, and all that kind of stuff. It's really frustrating. We went into halftime down 40-2, and we lost the game 50-8. It's one of those games where you had the running clock the entire second half. I wanted to have more fanfare with my seniors coming off the floor, and that's just kind of hard to do when you've got a running clock and the clock's not going to stop. So, I wanted them to get some more fanfare on coming out, but it didn't quite happen that way. But, yeah, there's not really much good to say about that game. I mean, there's a few stats. I mean, June Busboom had 5 rebounds. McKenna had 6. Piper had 4. Paige had 3, and Macy Busboom. Paige Culbreth had 3, and Macy Busboom had 3. McKenna had 3 blocks, and Paige had 2 steals. But beyond that, it was kind of one of those things where you're just walking the sidelines trying to figure out what in the world you can do to kind of stop the bleeding, and it just kept coming. So, yeah, that's the way all of that ended, and a score like that it's embarrassing, but you wish that's not the way it ended, but that's the way it ended.
You know what? We mentioned, I know you're going to come back next week to talk about the full season, so I don't want to get in too much on this, but just real quick, I noticed that you had 8 seniors this year, something like.
Wait, what?
How many seniors did you have?
4.
4.
4.
Who had 8? We did a game where somebody had 8.
We hardly had 8 players.
Oh, okay.
We have 11 players, so.
All right. KV. All right, I got you mixed up with Cougars. What was the challenge that you told your girls, the ones that are going to be back after the game last night? What did you tell them?
I really didn't talk about that very much, honestly. We didn't really talk much about the future. We talked about the seniors, allowed the seniors to say something to the rest of the players if they wanted to. We didn't really talk a lot about what we're going to talk about in the upcoming maybe days. We may be having exit interviews next week like I did last year, where I have everybody come in and we talk to them about the season and everything. And if we don't say much then, it'll be as we get closer to the summertime and what we're going to have in mind there. But yeah, I really didn't say a lot about the future because the present just seems so heavy at the time. You've got girls that love the game and are now done playing the game, and I didn't want to step on that very much and just kind of honor them and thank them for the couple of years that I've been here, because they were in a completely different system before I got here, and for the most part they seemed to buy in. We just didn't have a lot of success. We did have 1 more game success and 2 fewer losses than we had last year. So, but yeah, we didn't talk much about the future yet. That's coming.
JV Lady Spartans, how did they close out the year?
I don't really know of a record. when we played against South Newton, we didn't have a JV game because they used to have quite a few players, but we didn't have a JV game. And against North White, we lost 9-6. It was one of those deals where we finished the game with 4 because we were already short-handed, and we had a player foul out, and we had to stick with that 4 players. And we played that way for about a minute 40 something, and the game was mostly, I think it was 7-6 when it happened, and then when it was 9-6, we weren't quite thinking game because we weren't trying to get the ball, and when we had the ball, we weren't trying to score the ball. Just little things, and just a learning curve, I suppose. You only get the 2 quarters, and a lot of people haven't played all that much and stuff. So, there's a lot of things that we're going to have to improve coming up, and we'll talk about that next week, about how that is going to transpire.
So. All right. Well, Coach, I know this year didn't turn out the way you wanted it at all, but we appreciate you coming and being so loyal to the show here. And I know you're doing great things. You got to persevere. It's that as well as I do. Small school sports, boy. You're just kind of at the mercy of the flow, aren't you? Whether you've got good classes coming in or bad, or don't have the numbers, that kills you more than anything.
Right, that makes a big difference.
Yeah. So we look forward to talking to you more along the way, and I know you're gonna be busy. You said I didn't realize that you're still coaching track.
Yeah,
over at Hanover.
That is next. I like to kind of take a break between my sports, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen this time because I have to go to track, but I will be going to lots of basketball games over the next month and a couple weeks. I'm going to go to as many of the 7th and 8th grade games, the 5th and 6th grade games as I can. So I'll be making lots of trips south still, even though I'll have that other job going.
Do the numbers look good in the middle school?
Ish. There's 13 8th graders, and there were 13 7th graders that showed up at the call-out meeting, but they've only got 6. So there are a few of the 8th graders that are playing down, but it's still better than last year because last year they only had 3 8th graders.
Oh.
So and we currently have 2 freshmen, and I think one of them didn't play last year. So of our 2 freshmen, only one of them played on the 8th grade team. We lost one to South. We lost 2 of them to South Newton to moves.
Oh.
So the numbers are okay. I don't know what the numbers are right now in 5th and 6th grade. I have to get on that now that my season's over. I can inquire about that a little bit more. I haven't had a chance to do that.
Okay. Coach Chris York of the North Newton Lady Spartans, thank you very much.
Yes,
and talk to you next week.
Yes, see you next week, and we'll wrap this thing up.
All right. We'll take a time out now and come back with more. We still have more coaches for you, of course, so come back and join us on 3kgthecage.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our friend. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facial, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Midwest Contractor Services of Rensselaer, with over 15 years of experience, offers both insulation and gutter services for new construction and existing homes in Jasper, Newton, Lake, and Porter counties. You could save money and lower energy bills by adding more insulation to your house. New installation project? Let Midwest Contractor Services offer you a custom insulation package that fits your needs. Leaves in your gutter? Let us give you a price on leaf protection products that really work and are affordable. Call Marty or Mark at Midwest Contractor Services today at 219-866-0755 and get an estimate for your project.
Welcome back to 3KG The Cage at Arnie's Pizzeria. Joining us now, Key Valley head coach Bill Shepard. And coach, you are the second hottest coach coming in here. We had Tri-County boys with 5 wins in a row. Cougars have rolled off 4 wins in a row. Good time to be playing good, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, we're excited with how we're playing right now, and obviously the challenge is to keep it up for the next month or so, and see how things progress.
How many games do we have to talk about here this evening?
3. We've had 3 in the last week. Started with a week ago tonight at Knox. Yeah, we traveled. Knox was a makeup game on a Wednesday. It had the snow out. I believe it was snow out day, the when we were supposed to play them. And so we traveled over to Knox for a unique Wednesday night game, something that we don't typically do. But it was a situation where we both teams started off pretty hot in the first quarter. Our defense was not where we wanted it to be, but we can give Knox credit. I mean, you still got to make the shots. So they were ahead 23-19 at the end of the first quarter. It was a pretty up and down game there, but. Credit to our kids, our defense really started stepping up after that, and we held Knox in check, and we continued to score 18, 24, and 19 the last 3 quarters. So putting 80 points on the board is always good. Going on the road, scoring 80 is even better. We won that 80-60. Just a pretty good all-around game for us. Our senior guard, Cam Webster, had 23 points, but also a junior forward for us, Brady Sampson, had a career-high 23 points as well.
Wow.
So a couple guys with 23 there, and our senior center, Jeremiah Jones, he had double figures in with 10 as well. So it was it started out a little bit sluggish, but it was good. It was definitely a good win for us to get on the road.
80 points, you got to take that anytime, don't you?
We will take 80 points every night if we can get it. That's tough to do. Then on Friday night, 2 nights later, we went up to Highland, conference game, and started off a little. Both teams started off sluggish that night. We were ahead 12-4 at the end of the first. Our defense was good, but it was just a sluggish first half. We were kind of getting out of some things that we wanted to do, and kind of getting away from some things that we knew what wasn't going to work for us, and we just mentally wasn't as disciplined as we needed to be in the first half, especially on the offensive end, just not really running our stuff. And we kind of got that corrected at halftime and came out and had a really good second half, outscoring them 38-23 in the second half. So just realizing what we were doing and trying to settle our kids down, saying, listen, we're doing the things that we can't do to be successful. And so anyway, the credit to them for making the adjustments on the fly like that and getting the job done with a big conference win. Won that one 64-43, so a 21-point win on the road in conference is always good. Cam Webster led us again with 26 points on the night. Senior center Jeremiah Jones had 16, including 8 of 8 from the free throw line. And we had our 6'7" junior backup center came in, had a career high 11 for us, played really well. So it was definitely a good game for us there as well. You want me to go on to the third one?
Well, just to put 2 back-to-back on the road that way.
On the road, yeah.
That's got to feel good for you as a coach and staff.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And we Knox Wednesday, Highland Friday, and then we had another game Saturday. So we're talking 3 games in 4 days. So we were joking like it was kind of an NBA type schedule,
Sure.
But it was definitely good to get 2 back-to-back road wins like that, especially 20-plus point wins. So. Saturday night, we had Portage coming to town. Portage is one of the best teams in Northwest Indiana. They are super good, one of our sectional favorites. And it was just one of those games where the kids they just look like I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like they just figured it out for a night. We played rock solid defense. Everything we worked on in practice for the last couple of weeks, they did. And on offense, they just stuck to the plan as good as any team I've had stick to the plan in years. It was just, this is what we're going to do. We're going to continue to do this all game long, and we're just going to see where we're at the end. And we were ahead the entire game. We were ahead 13-5 at the end of the first quarter, 23-19 at halftime, 42-36 at the end of 3, and then 59-51 at the end. We were ahead the entire game. and it was just one of those situations where the kids just stuck to the plan. And we always have a couple of possessions on each end where you're like, what are you doing, but overall it's just this, we just played good team basketball, and it was just such a good sight to see against such a top level competition like that in Portage. Had 4 kids in double figures. Cam Webster once again led us with 18. Jeremiah Jones, our senior center, had 13 again, but our junior point guard Bobby Lalonde had 13 as well, and our junior forward Brady Sampson had 11. So pretty balanced overall through there. Frustrated Hobart on their offensive end a lot with our defense the way it was playing, and it was just a really good win for our program. Probably one of the biggest wins we've had in a few years. Just by who we beat and how we played.
I know Cam Webster is a good scorer for you guys. It always has been, but from what you just said and mentioned, it sounds like he's really hitting his stride here this season, the last 3 games.
He is. He spent a few weeks in the middle of the season with an injured foot, an injured ankle actually, and that slowed him down. And so it was kind of weird because the couple weeks we had off, due to snow and ice and cold and stuff, actually probably benefited him. Gave him a couple weeks to just kind of rest that ankle a little bit, and he would still practice, but we would be very careful with it and stuff like that, and he didn't have to really go full out in games and stuff like that. So we had a couple weeks without games. So I think that actually kind of benefited him, and since then, he's been obviously hitting his stride, and one of the things that I really think has helped us in the last couple weeks is we made a switch at the point guard spot. Not that Cam was doing a bad job, but we put Bobby Lalonde, a junior, at the point, and he's doing a wonderful job of getting others involved, and he's such a smart basketball player. He probably knows the game maybe better than anybody on our team, and he's just doing a really great job at the point guard spot, and he's starting to do a little leadership on the team too. We're walking in the halftime of Highland, he's already drawing stuff up on the board, talking to the guys, just trying to do the whole point guard thing.
That's great to see.
And so it's just one of those things where things are, we're doing well. We're doing well. I mean, we can. Obviously, we're excited. The kids are excited. They're working hard in practice. When you win, it's easier to work hard and stuff like that. So and obviously the Portage win. It's like, hey, you can beat anybody in your sectional now. Just go play. Just continue to do, and they're believing in what we're doing. Just do what we do, and don't stray away from it, and you'll be just fine. And that's going to be hopefully what carries us. Our schedule doesn't get a ton easier, but I'm just hoping that we continue to stay the course with what we're doing, and that we'll be better off for it down the road.
I'm sure Portage came in very athletic. They always are. So unless this year's something really different, but you guys can match up with athletic teams, can't you?
Yeah, Portage started the same starting 5 they started last year. They have everybody back, and they are super good. Like I said, they're one of the best teams in Northwest Indiana by far. There was only the only team that beat Portage by a higher margin than we did was Fishers, and
Really?
Fishers was number 1 in the state until last week. So Fishers beat them by 17 at Fishers, and we were actually up 11 on them until the buzzer when they hit about a half-court shot at the buzzer to make it 8. So that's just one of those things where we can match up with just about anybody. It's just continuing to do the things that we work on in practice, and it just seems like we've fallen into some things on both ends of the floor that match our personnel a little bit better, and they're just kind of they're picking it up a lot easier, and we're drilling it every day too, so that helps out. I know the kids might get bored with some of the drills and stuff, but it's like, forget it, we're going to keep working on it. So
Another maybe sectional opponent coming up right around the corner. Next on the slate is Hobart, and that's tomorrow at your place.
Yes. Yeah, a conference opponent too. So that's important as well to get a conference win at home. Hobart. We beat Hobart during the regular season last year pretty handily at Hobart. Then they got us in the opening round of sectional. So, we got a little bit of payback on our minds for that, I would think. But once again, it's just, it's as I think I've said this 50 times this year. It's just kids, man. And it's hard telling how kids are going to come out on a nightly basis. And we've looked really good the last couple of weeks, but as I told them, don't think you got it figured out, because it's just like my driving my golf game. Once I think I got it figured out, that's when I lose 3 or 4 in the woods. So it don't think you got to figure it out. Just keep working hard, keep listening, keep doing what you're doing, keep playing as a team, and the good things will come your way. And if we do that against Hobart tomorrow night, we'll be fine. And that's just one of the things that. But I really think they're starting to believe in each other and come around with that. So it is a good time for that to happen. And hopefully we can keep it up for the next few weeks to build some more momentum as we go in, because there's plenty of games left on our schedule that we could be successful in if we keep playing this way.
Rickies will come in 7-6. You guys, of course, 9-6. So should be a pretty good, well played game.
Yeah, I would think so. I would hope so. It's always tough with those schools. It's gonna be a physical game. It's always tough with those quote unquote region schools. It's gonna be a physical game. That's one thing that we're starting to get better at too. Is we're starting to go get the ball inside a lot more. And like people like Cam are starting to figure out. If I get my bigs involved early, my job's easier. Because then they'll start focusing on the big guys a little bit more, and then Cam gets much easier looks from the perimeter and stuff. So, yeah, it should be a good ball game. And then Saturday we got LaPorte at home. And then before I even come back down here again, we got Twin Lakes at home. So we got a stretch of 3 home games coming up here, and we'd like to get them all if we could. But they each present different challenges, and starting with Hobart tomorrow night.
All right, Coach. Good luck with that, and hope the Cougars keep it going 4 straight, and why not make it 7?
That's the plan. We hope we can talk to you next week with a 7-game win streak going on. So we'll see what we can do.
That'll be fun. All right, Coach Bill Shepard of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Come back for more on 3KGTheCage.com.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund. You need someone who can help you work towards your goals. Someone to help you move forward in the times of change. Call Mindy Byer at Morgan Stanley. Mindy has 20 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Northwest Indiana. To make an appointment with Mindy Byer, call 765-420-8433. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook, or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
All right, Bill K. Bob Kurtz back with you here from Arnie's Pizzeria in Rensselaer, and joined now by Frontier Falcons boys head coach Trent Fagley, one of Rensselaer's finest.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach Fagley. Well, we got a couple games to talk about from since the last time.
Yeah. Yep. So we would have had
a couple different
Faith Christian and Delphi.
Yeah. Very different type of contest, obviously.
Very different. We had this talk several times before. Our issue right now as a young group is we either are in the game and finish it, in the game and lose by a little bit, or once it starts to stretch, we're having an issue. I don't want to say quitting, because it's not quitting whatsoever. It's getting into a rhythm where you feel like, oh, it's just over. And it just kind of snowballs on you to where games that should be 18 get to 35.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to kind of shut off. So we had that happen at Faith. And then, all honesty, we had a meeting as a team. And just because, like I've talked about, it's a full culture shift. And we are trying to get away from, it's been a long time since it's been a winning basketball program.
Sure.
And we're ready to get it there. And the kids are too. But in their defense, they haven't been shown that way yet, right? So it kind of turned to without being too harsh, we just kind of had a discussion as a group and just kind of said, I come from a winning background playing, winning background coaching, so I can no longer meet you where you're at. I'm going to hold you here, and you got to meet me where I'm at.
Sure.
So we had a great talk. The kids really receptive to it. They loved it because they want to win. And then we came out in the Delphi game and battled our butts off and got a lot better. Delphi's a solid basketball team, and we held them under their average by quite a bit. They'd scored 80 2 nights prior, and we held them to 46. We were just struggling to put it in the basket. That's been kind of a common theme along the year. And then, obviously, Faith Christian, like I said, kind of gave it to us. And this is a good basketball team, old basketball team, made a lot of shots. Put us at 2-2 in the conference, which is still right there. I mean, we have 3 left. You win those 3, you're right in it. I mean, because you saw then DeMott beat Faith to give them a loss. So everybody's kind of going in there, and then sitting at the top, the lone undefeated has 5 conference games left.
Still left.
So like it's
tough one tomorrow night.
Yeah, and so that's the thing, and then we get them next Friday.
Okay.
So like we're still in the realm. It's in the realm of possibility for us to reach our goals still. And then we have West Central coming up tomorrow. So we're ready for that game. But the guys this week, and I'm not just saying this week was our most competitive week of practice we've ever had.
Really?
The guys are embracing the talk that we had. Like, got to be more competitive, got to be more physical, got to be more active. Like, we're kind of getting through all these things, and they're starting to realize football's not the only contact sport. You have to be physical, and you have to be willing to put it out there for your buddies, and it was a really good week of practice. So we're looking forward to tomorrow night.
Do you have guys showing some leadership out there as far as standing out and maybe on the court? You can't as coaches, you can do so much. You're
100%, and that's what I always tell them. I said the best teams are player-led teams. That's just a fact. And to be honest with you, we've kind of struggled to find that right now. And it's not that nobody's a good leader. We just don't have a vocal guy that everybody looks at. Like, all right, like, tell us what to do. And with talking about practice this week, junior Drew Turner was that guy this week.
Okay.
Vocal, getting after guys, getting on guys. And, like, that's why I keep telling guys, like, you can get into it in practice as long as you leave it on the court. And when we leave here, we're a team. Like,
right.
If you are competitive and you want to win, there should be some flare-ups in practice.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If people aren't doing what they're supposed to do, it should boil up a little bit. And I think they're all starting to understand, like, if somebody kind of loses it for a second, it's not some big ordeal. Like,
right.
That's normal. That's
right.
normal winning championship basketball. You have to have that. So Drew stepped up this week and was that guy, and everybody was kind of looking to him, and everybody followed suit. It was a great week.
Was that surprising to you? It was him, or
no,
are you still looking for more?
Him and Jason Newton are our captains.
Okay.
They both do a great job. Great kids, fantastic leaders, just not necessarily vocal leaders. So expected, no, as far as vocal wise, but did I know he could do it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's the guy that I think everybody would turn to. If you said, who's your leader? I think everybody would kind of look to Drew to carry him.
Who do you got now coming up?
Yeah, so we have West Central tomorrow, and then we have Seeger Saturday. West Central, obviously, conference game. We're very, very excited for that one. We have a game plan that we've set that we are very confident in, and I just hope that we can go out and execute it. And then we are my freshman guard, the Winkler kid that's had a big year, has been out all week sick, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we get him back maybe tomorrow. If we do, he's good for 8 or 10 minutes, max. So I would almost lean to the side that we probably don't have him tomorrow. If we do, great. We'll go from there. But so we've had to prepare this week without him, which, I mean, it's a big loss. He averages 29 minutes, you know what I mean? So the
kids,
bunch,
yeah,
he plays and plays and plays. But we have had a lot of guys step up this week that it kind of looks like they're wanting to maybe take some of those minutes. Like, they understand he's not going to be there, so they've had big weeks of practice. And then the Seeger game, I've seen him on film several times. That's a team I've never played or coached against or anything, so that'll be a fun one.
Do those kids realize that, when somebody's down, that, hey, this is my time to shine, and I got to, if I was given 100, I got to give 105.
Yep, and I think that was part of that talk we had. It was one of those where, not to go too deep into it, but it was one of those conversations where you guys are used to kind of skimming through the season and getting as good as you can, where, I am used to ultra competitive, in-your-face basketball. and that's kind of where they've been. And I kind of told them, we are going to start tracking everything in practice, everything competitively. Every drill's win and lose, life's win and lose, basketball's win and lose. And so we track everything, and pretty much just told the guys, like, this isn't saying everybody's job's on the line, but we have to perform and we have to get results. So as we start to see if somebody's dominating drills and their team always wins in practice, like, we have to start exploring why maybe they're a winner, right? And what's coming from that. And I think that's really made everybody elevate a little bit.
Do they look to you know, you look at a game like North White, your last victory, we won by 16 points on their court. I mean, do kids go back and say, well, geez, this all went right for us. We got to get the kind of, you know, I know each opponent brings different challenges, but does that, you know, carry over at all?
So, and again, this all goes back to that conversation we had. The issue right now, and this is with any team that's trying to get over the hump, is when you know that you can compete in the game, you play harder.
Uh-oh.
And that can't be the case.
Sure.
Right? It needs to be, you give that effort and maybe more if you don't think that you can compete in the game. But right now it's, we can compete in that one and we'll go out and perform our butts off.
Right.
But then
right.
when we get one where maybe we could be in it in the fourth quarter and make a couple plays, the second it starts to turn south on us a little bit, it's like, oh, I didn't think we'd get this one, you know, instead of staying in it. And that's where we're fighting. So to that point exactly, you get in that North White game and our guys felt like, that's our rival, we should win this one, we should really go get them. And
yeah.
They just feel differently entering the game, and that's the switch we're trying to flip.
Sure. How was the Frontier Junior Varsity squad?
Junior Varsity squad's doing almost the exact same thing. They had a great game against Delphi. They came back, got it tied in the end, and then Delphi ended up getting a couple free throws at the end to ice it. But they're playing good basketball. They're doing exactly what we ask. We have some guys that are playing a little C team as well that play both, getting as many quarters as they can within their limits. And we've had some young guys really step up that maybe we didn't think at the beginning of the year would play a big role, that really have started to come on and take starting roles late in the JV year. So it shows us our development plan is working, because some kids maybe that we were like, he's a year out still, now we're already in our starting lineup and we're saying, okay, like, he's ready to go. So when size catches up for a few of these guys, they could really be an issue for people.
Middle school, are the boys playing right now? Is this the main part of their schedule?
So most of them around the area are finishing up. If they haven't already, they're finishing up. So they'll be getting ready to go into their AAU seasons, and then maybe play little tournaments here and there. But mainly most of them have moved on to AAU at this point. So in my phone, like, I have like all the legacy apps, and any of my kids that play on a 5th grade team or a 7th grade AAU team or Indiana Ice or whatever, I have it all saved in there so that we can get to the games on the weekends. And my assistant coaches have been going and watching some of the 5th grade teams just to make sure they understand that, like, we're in this, like, we're ready to build something here. So, but yeah, so everybody's still playing, but it's mainly AAU time now.
How's the numbers in interest-wise with the youngsters?
8th grade is our small class. There's not a lot of interest in that class. I think we had 4 this year. But the nice part was our 7th grade's big and has some really skilled kids who were able to play the 7th grade schedule and the 8th grade schedule.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, I mean, I have a couple 7th graders that are really good players. One of them had 26 in an 8th grade game this year. So, I mean, there's some players coming. And then the way I look at it there is 7th and 8th kind of got what you got, you know, when you take over a program, and then you have to develop them as you can. But 6th, 5th, 4th, like, those are up to me now. Like, I can build those guys. I've had some people really step in that want to help with some youth stuff, and as soon as this season ends, whenever that may be, hopefully late March, but whenever that may be, we'll really dive into what we're trying to do for the summer and get these kids playing basketball.
Well, Trent, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming every week, and good luck, best of luck at West Central with Seeger, and look forward to talking with you next week. Trent Fagley of the Frontier Falcons boys coach. We'll take another time out here at the Coach's Cage Show on 3kgthecage.com.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
At Applegate Seed House, we specialize in any and all small seed project needs. This includes government programs, CRP, pollinators and waterways, pasture mixes, and new lawn seed. Applegate Seed House is located 2 miles north of Brook, Indiana, and 2.5 miles east of Highway 41. Call Sam at 765-363-3113. That's Sam at Applegate Seed House, 765-363-3113.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here from Arnie's Pizza and the weekly Coach's Cage show. Our next event will be boys basketball tomorrow night at Tri-County as the North Newton Spartans 7-6 visit the 8-7 Tri-County Cavaliers. That should be a good game just by itself, but it's got big implications as far as the Midwest Conference goes. North Newton stands alone unbeaten in the conference right now, 2-0. Tri-County tied with DeMont Christian for second at 4-1. So whoever wins this can very much have a heads up as we head into the latter part of the basketball season here. With the boys' record in girls action, of course, in the middle of the girls sectional right now, and we had one didn't turn out so well. That was yesterday with North Newton Spartans losing to Lake Station in the 2A Lake Station sectional by a score of 50-8. But in earlier action here tonight up in Valparaiso in the 4A sectional, Kankakee Valley was a winner, improved to 14-8 as they knocked off Hobart 52-37. So I want to thank my good partner here, Bob Kurtz, for sliding back and doing all the production and camera work here tonight on the show. Of course, my production skill is about 0 zip nil, so I don't think we'd get on the air if it wasn't for Bobby tonight, but he does a great job. But that's why you haven't heard from him. He's here. He just we didn't give him a mic today, so he'll get his chance tomorrow. Plenty of it. So we're going to look forward to that, and till we reach you next, this is Bill K saying good night, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of Free KG Community Broadcasting.